Okay. So I'm going to do the basics of uh, of of math, and hopefully you can, in actual fact, like, just trying to see if I can make it more visible for you. Seems like if I don't put all the light on there, you can see it better. Okay. Yeah. So let's go. Okay. Let's go up there. So basic math. If they say the factors of 12, it means numbers that will multiply by with each other to get 12. So 3 times 4 will be 12. So these are factors. 6 times 2 is 12. 1 times 12 is 12, So these will, 3 and 4 and 6 will be factors of 12. But if you say multiples of 12, it means to add up 12 every time. So 12, 24, 36, and so on. So let's go further now with basic, very basic maths, basic algebra, and uh, if we can say like geometry as well, because these are basic things that you need to know, and obviously you must know your tables. Okay, so let's go through this. So if you see that x, a bracket, means to multiply. If you have two brackets, it means to multiply. If you have that sign, it means to multiply. If you have a dot, it means to multiply. If you have an off in between two numbers, it means to multiply. Okay, so let's go quickly. So x times y will give you xy. If you two letters next to each other, it means they're multiplying each other. Okay, 2x is actually 2 times x. If there was a z there or p there or a, it would have been 2 times x times z. Now, if you have a number with a bracket and two numbers in the middle, it means you must multiply this one with each of them in the middle. So it will be 2 times x will be 2x, and then 2 times y will be 2y. But now you must remember a plus times a plus is a plus. A plus times a minus is a minus. A minus times a plus is a minus. And a minus times a minus is a plus. You must remember those basic rules in terms of algebra. So a minus times a minus is equal to a plus. A plus times a minus equals a minus. And vice versa. So a minus times a plus is a minus, and a plus times a plus is a plus. So those are basically just two rules you have to remember. Those there. I just did it there. A minus times a minus is a plus times a minus is a minus, or a minus times a plus is a minus, and a plus times a plus is a plus. So let's go through the rest of it, okay? So x to the power 3, you read it like is x times x times x. X to the power 2 times x to the power 3, actually you add up the powers. These are the powers. So it's x, because the bases is the same, x and x, you can actually give one base and add the top. So it's 2 plus 3 with x to the power 5. Then x to the power 2 times y to the power 3. Now you can't put that equally together. You can't take 1 at the bottom. So you take 1 here, x to the power 2 and y to the power. You just put it next to each other and remove the brackets. If you have two terms and 2 terms in a bracket, you must multiply. You first multiply the first one with both of them, then the second one with both of them. So let's see. 5 times 2 is 10. X times x is x squared. Next one. 5 times 3 is 15. X times y is xy. So you first multiply the numbers, then the letters, which call the variables. Then y times 2x is actually 2xy. You don't write yx. You can write yx, but it's okay. Write it in order. 2 is 2xy. And y times 3y is actually 3, because there's a 1 in front here. And y times y is y to the power 2. Okay? But now you see this one is xy and that one is xy. So these are what you call common terms, and you have to add it up. So 15 plus 2 is equal to 17 xy. Now this is the product after you multiply. But if they're asking of factorizing, in other words, find the two original brackets. Now you must look at the number two factors that was up there that will multiply to get 10, and two factors will multiply 3. And if you cross multiply, you must get 17. So look at that. 5 times 2 will give you 10. And 1 times 3 will give you 3. If you cross multiply, 2 times 1 is 2. 5 times 3 is 15. If you add up the 2, you get 17. So then you take this as your factor, 5x plus y. 5x plus y, because that is 1 represent the y. 5 represent the x. And then this is 2x plus 3y. So I left out the y here. So that's another y, because it's y times y is y squared. So that takes long to teach at the school level, but you can do it all at once, okay? Now, if you have powers or indices that divide each other, so x5 divided by x3, you must make minus and subtract it. So it's x, which is the same one. It's the same base. 5 minus 3, so the answer is x to the power 2. If you see something like this, x to the power 2 bracket to the power 3, it means you must now multiply these here. Here, when they multiply here, you add up. But when you multiply here, you add the powers. But if it's a bracket, it means this is saying that this must be 3 times. In other words, they're saying that this must be x to the power 2 times x to the power 2 times x to the power 2 3 times. Can you see? It's 3 times. It's power 3. Like this one was x to the power 2x times x. Now this is x to the power 2 3 times. So then you must multiply this 2, because it's 2 plus 2 plus 2 will be 6. So it's 2 times 3 will be equal to 6. That's a simplified method. You just multiply these 2. If you multiply this with 3 terms, then you must multiply that with that first, then that with that, and then that with that. So they will tell you, find the product. You just multiply them out like that. So 2 times 1, there's a 1 there, is 2. X times x is x squared. Plus times a plus is a plus. 2 times 3 is 6. X times is no x, xy gives you xy. 2 plus times a minus is a minus. 2 times 8 is 16. X times y is xy. So that could be that answer. Then I switch to Pythagoras, which says the square of the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the two squares of the square of the two sums. So it's AC squared is equal to AB squared plus CB squared. Or you can say AB squared, right? AB squared, which is this one here, is AC squared minus CB squared minus the other one. Or you can say CB squared is equal to AB squared minus AC squared. So you're just following that. Now let's put numbers in. So 5, if this one is 5, and that one is 4, and that one is 3, you can see how it works. 5 squared is equal to 3 squared plus 4 squared. So that is 5 squared is 5 times 5, like x times x is x squared. It's 25. 3 to the power 2 is equal to 9. 4 times 2, 4 times 4 is 16. So you can see 25 is equal to 9 plus 16, which is true. But if you want to calculate CB, which is this one, 3, you want to know, don't know what that is, you take 5 to the power 2 minus 4 to the power 2 is 25 minus 16 will give you 9. So that CB is equal to, squared is equal to 9. So if you want to get rid of a square, you just put the other number over a square root. So say CB is the square root of 9. Square root means what number multiplied itself will give you 9? 3. That's the answer. And here the last one here is 16. Square root of 16 is 4. What number times itself will give you 16? What number by itself will give you 25? Will be 25. So this is just basic math. But if you don't know those, you can't understand many other things. But the other feature that you figure out from here is you must know your multiplication. So we can't teach you that. You have to just study it all the time. 9 times table, 1 times 9 is 9, 2 times 9 is 18. You got to study it, and then you know automatically. Okay. So I hope this helps you. Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.